Hello everyone and welcome back to the Nerd Den here once again, and in today's video I'm going to be reading your theories for why Billie Piper has returned as the Doctor, or who she actually is playing in the show anyway. So with all that being said, let's get into the video. Let's talk about why Billie Piper's back, what theories you guys have got, and all of those crazy Whoniverse theories, because yeah, I feel like there's a lot of fan speculation about why Billie Piper's back. Is this going to be the last Doctor? That sort of thing. So I'm going to be having a look at what you have all commented on my recent community post and on a TikTok of mine as well. So yeah, let's get into the video. Alright, so the first theory is from IvyGirl201, and they have said one thing I can think of is that RTD is carrying on the Bad Wolf plot thread from his first era. And another theory I have is that I think the situation left from the 13th to the 14th Doctor Regeneration and the 14 and 15 Bi-Generation is not over yet, since I think there is some other force still in play. I think messing with the time vortex and reality did something which caused 15 to regenerate into the face of Rose Tyler, but I don't think she is the 16th Doctor, since, as it's been pointed out by quite a few people, the end credits do not actually credit Billie as the Doctor, and it only said introducing Billie Piper. The only other reason why I think they might have not credited her as the Doctor is that they want to keep it as a surprise for a future special or series, or they just don't know what to do from here, since right now it's not certain if we are going to get another season. So yeah, how I feel about this is that, yeah, I can kind of see where this user's coming from, because yeah, Regeneration has kind of become more of a plot device, more so than it ever has done in the past, and there's been so much criticism from fans regarding that, because Regeneration's kind of been complicated a little bit more, especially when it comes to the Doctor's regeneration. So I just kind of think, yeah, like, I wouldn't be surprised if this has been done to that effect, you know, having like the Bad Wolf story arc being brought back. And I don't know, like, I did a video on the channel a few days ago talking about how that could potentially pay off in a upcoming episode or a future series with Billie Piper as the Doctor. But I don't know. Apart from that, though, the rest of it, about the uncertainty surrounding the show, that's definitely something I can see the reasoning behind why Billie hasn't been credited as the Doctor, and also why this has been done in the first place, because it does seem like, well, I mean, this year is the 20th anniversary of New Who, and they brought back Billie Piper. It's literally brought things full circle. So, yeah, I can definitely see why fans would think that. So, very interesting theory. Then we've got, for the second theory, from Blue Shuckle 2135, they've said, I have an interesting theory that the Doctor regenerated into Billie Piper deliberately to remind themselves of a companion, and in this case, specifically Susan, as she was a companion too. Maybe we will get this reunion after all. Now, that's kind of interesting, and I feel like kind of having a regeneration centered around companions and the importance of them would be interesting, but I don't know. I mean, I would love to see a reunion between the Doctor and Susan, but like, literally, it was right there, and it was presented in the final episodes of this season, or the last season of Doctor Who, and they just fumbled it. They fumbled it big time, and I feel like having a reunion when it's teased for another Doctor, I don't know, it's just going to hit that a little bit different. So, I don't know. Hopefully, whenever we have the Doctor and Susan meet on screen, you know, it's done correctly. It's done correctly, and it's rewarding for both characters, to be honest. The third theory from Charles Finch has said, I think the Doctor chose this face of Rose because it reminds him / herself of how he or she really loved her, and also, Jackie said to Rose in Army of Ghosts that this will be there will be this strange woman walking around, and she's not Rose Tyler, nor is she human. So yeah, that's a nice, interesting callback there. B, the interface at the moment appeared to the Ward Doctor and said she chose this face for him and said it's from his or her future. So for foreshadowing that, it came true. C, Christopher Eccleston himself did say that Billie Piper should be the next Doctor. So yeah, he must be a soothsayer according to some people. He certainly didn't have any insider knowledge because, you know, the whole thing with him and Russell T Davies. And then D, the creator, said to the Doctor that he will revisit some old favourites. So yeah, he didn't kind of from what I recall anyway with the curator, he did kind of leave it open to it not being just faces from the Doctor's past. So it's, you know, not just the Doctor's previous faces, if that makes sense. So yeah, I mean, there's potential there for sure, definitely. Interesting. Now for the rest of the comments, I mean, yeah, like Jackie's one-off comment, I think that was just meant to be that Rose is just gonna turn into a completely different person, like in terms of personality and stuff, which she kind of did when it came to series 4. And the moment, I mean, yeah, you could probably retextualize that into some foreshadowing, but this definitely wasn't the plan all those years ago. But I guess, yeah, it is kind of subtly hinting that, you know, Rose did have a big, or at least Billie Piper had a big involvement in the Doctor's future. So there you go. I don't know. Yeah, crazy. Alright, then the fourth theory from Andrew Bowman 4611. I think that RTD understood that to not complete the regeneration would feel too ambiguous to the general viewer, especially given the fact that there was no announcement of an upcoming Christmas special. Clearly it had to be someone, and Billie Piper is a good choice as any. Piper herself has said she'd be happy to take on the role, but I suspect we'll have a few seconds of her face and then the regeneration proper will continue. Now, yeah, I think as much as an open-ended regeneration would be a way to kind of close off the show if it weren't coming back, but at the same time, it is a little bit too strange for the general viewer because in their eyes, you know, the casual audiences, they're always used to seeing someone appear at the other end of the regeneration. So I think having someone appear at the end of it, you know, gets people talking, gets people speculating, and especially in this case, there's been a lot of mainstream attention with Billie Piper coming back to the role. But this was also done in the marvellous mind of Russell T Davies, because he said that he wants to generate content when it comes to storylines. So he wants to get people talking, like myself, speculating online, making videos, TikToks, that sort of thing, because that does drive up the attention that the show gets. Whether you like it or not, that is true. I mean, there's a there's a video on Twitter that actually has the regeneration scene that's got 25 million views. So, might not seem a lot compared to other franchises, but it's enough to get people viewing that. And it gets Doctor Who in their minds. So, yeah. I guess that is part of Russell's mindset there. And here we go. Kind of leaning on from my point. The fifth theory from Tom O'Bakerino. Billie Piper is back simply as a begging from RTD. I will tell you why and who and what she is if you renew the show for me and allow me to tell the story. Yeah, I could also see this as well. I mean, obviously Doctor Who is a 60-year-old franchise anyway, but I think having that cliffhanger would certainly drive up more engagement with the show compared to what the original ending was meant to be. And it gets people talking in a lot more capacity compared to what you would have had it, say, if it was just like an old companion or like a returning villain, maybe. Like, if it was someone that's associated heavily with the franchise, especially its golden days, like, even if they had David Tennant return again, like, look at the end of The Power of the Doctor, a lot of people were talking about that. Whether you like it or not, like, people were talking about that because those golden years of Who, it's still talked about a lot when, you know, the casual audiences bring up Doctor Who. You know, they'll bring up episodes like Blink, the Weeping Angels, the Daleks, the Cybermen, maybe the Master. So I can kind of see this happening. And then from The Timeless Child, 1963, they've said, my theory is that I think something has gone wrong with the regeneration and Rose's face was chosen for a reason similar to how 14 was chosen, so he could make peace with his past and stop. With Rose, it could most likely be something to do with Bad Wolf, or when the Doctor shifted reality with a small fraction, it caused a glitch with the parallel worlds as well. Now, this theory I do like, and I do feel like there should be some consequences of the fact that the Doctor did shoot off regeneration energy into the TARDIS, and the fact it like hit the time rotors and that sort of thing. You know, it's like a multi-dimensional time machine. There's got to be some consequences. So perhaps the TARDIS did have more of a bigger involvement with the regeneration process this time around. So yeah, there's got to be consequences, surely. And I think whenever we do find out what happens next, there's surely got to be a reasoning behind this. And then for our 7th theory, from Mavtron 2307, I think she's going to go back to maybe warn themselves about the boss that is mentioned, and it's someone's familiar and evil. Maybe, again, regenerations with the reuse of faces, there's normally like a deeper meaning. So perhaps if it is the Bad Wolf entity, maybe when the Bad Wolf created themselves and like threw themselves across time and space, maybe they found out who the boss was and they've taken over the Doctor's body to try and stop it, maybe, and use the Doctor as a vehicle. I don't know, it sounds a lot confusing, but yeah, probably the least confusing thing that's happened in the Whoniverse in recent years, to be honest. The 8th theory we've got from Joshua King 2171. My theory is the 20th anniversary of New Who, and RTD started with Piper and he will end it with Piper, so I think she's the last Doctor for a while. Now, as much as I don't really want to admit it as such, but I've got to also be realistic, I don't think we are going to see Doctor Who on screens for at least another year. Like, I don't think we'll get any Who in 2026. If anything, we'll get the War Between Land and Sea. Even that might potentially air later this year. But yeah, I don't think we'll get anything else. I mean, we might get a Christmas special potentially, but the BBC, Russell, and all the press have been really quiet now about a recommissioning for like a 3rd or 4th season. There were rumours from the Mirror. I mean, the Mirror normally have a solid track record, and I do believe that they are telling the truth when it says that the show will continue, but we don't know when. I mean, there's a lot of indication that it will be 2027, but it could easily be longer. It could easily be longer, and I don't want that to be the case because, you know, I'm a big fan of the show. I love Doctor Who. It's had a big part of my life for the past 20 years, but the show is in such a weird place right now. The 9th theory. Small Bean Kowama, so sorry if I mispronounced your username there. My theory is that she's going to be the Bad Wolf, and they might bring back either David or Matt or both of them to do a special episode with the 3 of them or something. Now, I think my comment on this is that if they are going to bring back a Doctor alongside Billie's Doctor, it would have to be David's 14th Doctor, because could you imagine his reaction when he finds out that someone that who he believes is Rose Tyler is actually his future self? Like, that would be crazy. But maybe there's like some weird romantic thing there as well. But yeah, that's how I can kind of see that going down. And then for the final theory from Virgil, I think she's gonna just be another stopgap between actual Doctors, similar to 14, and I think she's gonna turn back into Ncuti. Now, I would love to see Ncuti get longer, because yeah, I do feel like Ncuti's performance really went into like overdrive and really excelled this season. Even though I wasn't a fan of the finale, and I've had little criticisms of Ncuti's Doctor, but overall, I've really enjoyed his performance, and I would like to see more of him. But I do think, to be realistic, I think Ncuti has gone. You know, he's gone off to do other things, and he's there to, yeah, I guess thrive with his future career, whatever he ends up doing next. And I wish him the best. But there we go. This is what some of you think what will be happening in the future of the show, which, you know, is exciting. I love reading fan theories, so if you do have any more, let me know in the comment section down below, as it will be interesting to see what you all have to say. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning into today's video. If you are new around here, please click that like button and subscribe for more nerdy content, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye for now.